Sexual assault survivor Grace Tame has spoken out about the moment she stood up to her abuser for the first time, saying she would never forget telling him he was a monster and pure evil. Key points. The 2021 Australian of the Year also provided further detail about a threatening phone call. The 2021 Australian of the Year also provided further detail about a threatening phone call in a heartfelt talk at Adelaide Writers Week. She spoke of how restrictions on victims had contributed to an ecosystem of abuse. In a heartfelt talk at Adelaide Writers Week, she spoke of how restrictions on victims had contributed to an ecosystem of abuse. She recalled the time she confronted her abuser as the day her fear of upsetting the apple cart. Addressing an audience at Adelaide Writers Week alongside event director Joe Dyer and author Jess Hill, the 2021 Australian of the Year also provided further detail on a threatening phone call she first detailed publicly at the National Press Club last month. At today's Writers Week talk, entitled The Reckoning, Ms. Tame opened up to the packed gathering about confronting the teacher who repeatedly raped her. Ms. Tame said while she was terrified of this paedophile, she stood up to him 4 days before she reported him to police, telling him he was a monster. I told him that, and I will always remember that, and you know what? So will he, she said. My fear of upsetting the apple cart that day. Ms. Tame was 15 and a student at St. Michael's Collegiate School in Hobart when she was repeatedly abused. He'd never seen my true rage towards him, but as he sat in his office chair, I pointed a finger at him. I was crying my eyes out. I started yelling and screaming, and I told him exactly what I thought of him for the first time, she said today. And I told him I thought he was pure evil, and that I hoped he, and I pointed to a picture of his own children, who were twice my age at the time, and I told him I hated him for what he had done to me. Whenever I think I can't do something, I remember this day, and I was terrified when I did this, but this is what I draw on when I need self-belief. Hundreds of people turned out for Ms. Tame's appearance. In the years since the man's conviction, Ms. Tame has campaigned for changes in the way sexual assault is dealt with. She told the festival audience that legal restrictions that prevented victims from sharing their stories had contributed to an ecosystem of abuse. It's so messed up how society has all these layers of victim blaming entrenched, codified at every level, she said. Last month, Ms. Tame appeared alongside Brittany Higgins at the National Press Club, where she alleged that a senior member of an organisation funded by the government had last year asked her to not say anything negative about the Prime Minister. Today, she spoke further about that incident, saying it wasn't an empty threat. I didn't share this at the National Press Club, but do you know what the threat was, from that person who phoned me? It was that they wouldn't support the Grace Tame Foundation if I said something about the Prime Minister, she said. Following Mr. Tame's press club address, Women's Safety Minister Anne Ruston said the federal government had begun an investigation into the allegation.